So it's very easy for people to say, yeah, oh yes, I'm in. I love this new culture. I'm going to behave in that way. Thank you very much. And then they carry on and do the things that they've always done. Right? Or it's very easy for people to say, yeah, I'm going to behave in this new way. And they do, but they don't believe in it. They don't believe in it. And they're posing in this new way, thinking, it's okay, because this fad will go soon. They always come in, be flavor of the month, week, year, and then it will go again. So what I'll do is I'll pretend I like it, and then I'll leave. But that doesn't help you. The only way, really, to be successful is to be porous in that top right-hand side and to find evangelists. And the best way to do that is to look in your organizations right now. Look in your teams. They could be people above you or to the side of you, peers, or below you, or they could be in other network situations in the ecosystem. And these are the people that are already doing it. They're saying, I don't care about all these post-it notes on the floor, the structural reasons, the professional reasons, the distance that there might be between Erica and myself. I don't care about that. I'm going to just do the right thing anyway. And I'm going to build the relationships, and I am going to help this company be successful. And they don't do that by talking about concepts. I was at a client site recently, and I said, do you collaborate to this person? And the person said, yes. I said, great. How do you collaborate with Jim? I emailed him. I said, that's not collaboration, that's emailing. I said, what do you do to collaborate? It's not that. So the concept of collaboration, the top-level behavior of collaboration is great. But when you push people to understand what it is, they don't get to that. And so behavior is too high. You have to get to those practices. And the X is the old behavior. The Y is the new behavior. And the P is the practice that will get you there. And you've got to co-create the answer together. Look around, see who's doing the right thing, share across teams, and get those practices and pull them together and say, this is how we want to work. And that is how you change culture. Because it's only people changing their behavior that will change a culture. Otherwise, it's just people talking about things. I was talking to an SVP of sales recently, and I said, tell me how you build relationships, or tell me how you ask your representatives to build relationships with doctors. This was a pharma company. And he said, oh, yeah. Well, I just say, go in there, build relationships. I said, yeah, okay. Can you break that down for me? Imagine I was one of your representatives. What would that look like? Well, you know. No, I don't know. Tell me, what does it look like? And he couldn't. And I said, that's probably why they're not building relationships. And if they did build relationships, then your product would be flying off the shelves. Because then they would think that you're one of their closest allies, advocate for them, you help them out. But you're not doing that. You're not teaching them how to do that. Just going in and saying, hi, how are you? Would you like to buy something? Is not the same as building a relationship. And while you're getting it wrong, what you're doing is you're leaving money on the table. And the important thing is for you to identify those role models. Says that there must be somebody in your team right now who's doing a great job of this. He said, oh yeah, this person is. I said, great. What do they do? Model that. Get everybody else to see what they're doing. You don't have to know the answer, but if somebody in your team does, that's great. And then replicate that. That's one of your role models. And what will happen is you can invite people in to join that movement. You can say to them, do you know what I'd really like? I'd like it if you thought about this. You don't have to do it, but if you want to, you can. Because that's choice. And you're helping them by saying, create it any way you want, whatever you think it is. And they'll take all the best bits themselves, and they'll put them in together in one package. And before you know it, they'll all be doing it. Because they don't want to miss out. FOMO. I've got all the millennial language, don't you worry. And we see this in all walks of life all the time. Now, more recently in entrepreneurs, right? You have Snapchats and the Uber and all such like, yeah, I want to change something. I want to go and change it. But you go back in time and you see it much more in social movements, right? You see people like Pankhurst starting the movement for women's voting. Martin Luther King in gay rights. Me Too. Black Lives Matter. Do you think that 5 million people just one day decided that one of those was important to them? Oh, I got out of bed today, what should I do? do you know what? This is really important to me. There must be 5 other million people out there who want to do this. No, it started by one person or 2, and they invited other people in, and before you knew it, there were 5 million, or 10 million, or 100 million, whatever it is. And so your opportunity as a leader, because you have that capacity, that wonderful capacity to open change, is to invite people in. And when you do that, you'll start seeing what those practices are. And that will help you be more successful. And then the question is, who needs to change? Well, actually everybody. Executive teams need to. If you ever go to a meeting as an executive or a manager or an employee, and there are people there who just do a report out for 2 hours or an hour, that's got to stop. That's just reinforcing silos and wasting your time. Use that time to collaborate. Managers and employees need to work better together. Functions need to partner better together and speak the same language. Sales and account managers, they need to work out what is going to make the biggest difference to their customers and their customers' customers. And have that honest dialogue about, we don't know all the answers, but we'll work it out together. And we'll find those role models. And as we do, we'll discover the right way of working. And that's going to make a really big difference. And, you know, I alluded to this earlier, but this is the key part, right? Intellectually, anybody would know that they should change. If I said, look, if you want to get a 6-pack, stop eating pizza. I get that intellectually. And if my trainer says that to me, I'm with you. But I still eat that pizza, and I like it. Now, movements like Weight Watchers and Alcoholics Anonymous, all of those movements started with individuals saying that we might be able to do this better together and creating a sense of belonging, that internal, emotional sense that says, not only do I get it, it is an inherent part of my being. Innovation is inherent to me, and we're going to do this, and I don't care about the structural stuff. Because when you belong, you'll commit to it, whatever it is. Anytime. And we'll get away from that autocracy that says you've got to do something. And then you can help empower that in people through taking the right approaches. So yeah, teaching is okay, right? But you're going to forget about it. And I remember very recently I was at a session with a client of ours, and it was day 2, and I was going down in the elevator. And as I got in the elevator, I accidentally pressed the wrong button, and I said to the person who got in after me, I said, we're going to stop at an additional floor, and I'm sorry. I pressed the wrong button. It's the first floor, ground floor dichotomy that sometimes I end up getting wrong. And she turned to me and she said, oh, it's okay. I'm going to a training course today, and it's going to be really boring, so I don't mind how long it takes. And I thought, I hope she wasn't in mine yesterday. That's not going to be good. She wasn't. But I thought, look, teaching stuff is okay, but we're going to forget it. People forget it very, very quickly. We learn most by doing, and even more powerfully, coaching that with, coupling that with coaching. Because when you supercharge your movement with coaching, 360-degree coaching, everyone coaching each other, that's powerful. Not twice a year, not once a year with the performance reviews. You can do that as well, but I want to hear every day. In fact, you tell me afterwards if you like what I've said. Or if you didn't, that's okay, because then I can learn and grow. Because I'm a vulnerable human being. I'm a humble leader. And so we've got to tie those two together. And the coaching piece is so critical, and most people forget it. And then a few facts. Number one factor for high-performing business teams, deep social bonds. They make a big difference. The millennials. Millennials crave attention. And we heard earlier how many there are going to be in the organization, right? The managers don't. They don't have time to give coaching. You're going to have to fix that difference, that dichotomy. Otherwise, you won't have people in the organization in 10, 20, 30 years. And think about this. 50% of millennials look for a new job within 3 months. 50%. I don't know what your cost of hiring is, but that's a lot of money if they leave. And it's your responsibility to invite them in and start the movement that makes them excited about it. Because if you do that, then they will love it. Another one of our tools are the archetypes, the coaching archetypes. Managers should be coaches. In fact, employees should be coaches. Everyone should be a coach. But there are lots of different types of coaching. And this is on the employer side, so the manager side. And then on the employee or the coachee side, there are different styles as well. And you've got to get them right. Because if you don't get them right, if you don't combine them properly, then the styles won't help people grow and learn and develop. They just won't do it. But you can reduce your voluntary quits by doing that and increase engagement. To have an exponential impact, you've got to get that movement ready. And you've got to get that coaching done, celebrate role models, think about the impact, and be successful anyway. It doesn't matter what's going on. There's always a reason why you can't do something. You only need one as to why you can. And frankly, together we must make it fly. Because if you don't, somebody else will. If you don't, somebody else will.